We want safe and successful kids. This is a challenge right now for parents, for educators, for everybody. As the world is moving quickly, I think as a parent, one of our core expectations is we say communicate, communicate, communicate. And we believe in that. We want to get communication to parents. We want that two-way communication and that engagement. I think our parents absolutely want that.
You're listening to the smartsocial.com podcast. This is our District Talk segment where we interview district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media. And we also ask them questions that we get from parents all over the country in our program. Now, let's get back to the interview.
Hi, my name's Trent Bowers. I'm the superintendent of Worthington City Schools, which is a suburb of Columbus, Ohio. We serve 10,600 students in 21 different schools.
Superintendent, it's so great to have you here today as we talk about keeping students safe on social media so they can be successful someday. And a big part of that for all of our listeners who know us so well, whether you're a parent or a superintendent or anyone in between for our listeners, we teach every kid how to shine online when their parents are ready so they can get that dream job, career, internship, and everything you want them to do so that when they're 25, they're fully employable, they are resilient in this world, and we're excited about that. Superintendent, I've got some exciting questions for you here today, and I'm really excited. Hey, let's start off with something a little different. Where did you start your career? Was it as a teacher?
So I did. I started as a teacher in King George County, Virginia.
Amazing. And what did you teach as a teacher? What grade?
So I was an elementary school teacher, believe it or not, Josh. So I taught fifth grade, all subjects, and then followed that group of kids and taught sixth grade, all subjects, and eventually transitioned home to the state of Ohio.
That's great. Always good to come home. And how cool is it to start off? I want you to put that teacher hat on. Did you become a principal eventually in your career?
Yeah. Transition teacher to principal and eventually into this role.
I'd like you to wear the teacher hat, the principal hat today, and really give us that. And now you are administrator helping 10,600 kiddos. So my first question for you, Superintendent, is I've spent the last 2 years of my life interviewing 200 plus superintendents in 40 to 41 states, your peers all over. And I've heard a consistent trend here at smartsocial.com. Now, this may not be the case in your community. You may have little angels of children running around and have a perfect community as superintendent. And if so, we need to study your community and find out how you do that because we want to share it with the rest of the world. But we're finding that students are growing up in a digital world filled with powerful tech, AI, and social media. But sometimes they might lack the maturity and the guidance to use it safely. Now, the result can be, in some cases, more student absences, lower focus, rising cyberbullying, declining self-esteem, and AI misuse in the classroom we're hearing. And also, parents are trying to raise good kids in a world they didn't grow up in, a world where now tech is moving faster in some cases than safety policies can keep up. Teens tend to know how to hide apps and online behavior. They're very clever, which we give them credit for. And safety lessons sometimes usually come after a crisis because we don't know which safety lessons to prep the kids for and the parents for in the future. Superintendent, are there any other trends on this topic that you've seen so we can alert other school districts before they see them?
Well, I think we're all seeing the same things. And so we're in this world of technology. Not only do I get to be the superintendent of Worthington Schools, but I'm a dad of 3 daughters. And so raising my kids in this technology world, and they know much more about it than we do. That it's moving fast. I tell people they also stay up later than I do, right? So there's these conversations about, we tell people, hey, the phone shouldn't be in the bedroom at night. And I don't know how realistic that actually is when you're a parent. So, we've dug through this. We see the same issues in Worthington that people see across the country. What I will say is one of the things that we're attempting to do, our core philosophy in Worthington Schools is what we just say, be kind to kids. And that means show kids respect, care about them. We're going to put kids first in our community. And some of what we're attempting to do is just connect them in a physical world. How do we really make sure that they're connected with one another? How do we provide those opportunities? Kids, teenagers especially, they just want to be connected to their peers. And in today's world, that's happened digitally more than ever. But if we provide them opportunities in a physical world to connect, they're attracted to that. And so as a school district, we're really working hard, whether that be through athletics, whether that be through our music programs, whether that be through other clubs and activities, trying to provide a comprehensive and intentional way to help kids connect with their peers, because kids are going to be busy and we want them to be busy and productive in positive ways.
Yeah, so true. You said so many great things as well. And what an honor, but also what a difficult world right now. You've got three daughters that you're protecting, right? And we're gonna hear from a teen here in a sec, a teen young woman who's gonna talk about how she protects her friends online. I love how you just said be kind to kids. And you also said put kids first, which I think is really great. Tell me about, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What's a way your district puts kids first? Can you give me an example of how your administration says, let's make this decision with the kids in mind?
Well, I think that every decision is made with the idea of how do we take care of our kids? What's best for our children? There's
Yeah.
realities to that, right? So, as the superintendent of schools, you work with financial realities. I'm really fortunate to be in Worthington Schools, which is a community that has said, hey, education matters, public education matters. And so they funded that. And so we offer 32 different varsity sports. We offer marching band programs at our two traditional high schools that have literally a couple hundred students that are engaged in those programs. We tell families that if there's a club that wants to be started, all you need to do is find an adult that will
Mm,
supervise that club because we want our students to be connected. Now that takes resources to allow that to happen, but we see that as being kind to kids. It's not that kindness it's about prioritizing the children in the community. We're currently rebuilding our traditional high schools, a $234 million projects that the
wow.
community has supported because they've said, hey, this next generation and the generations that follow them matter deeply to us in this community. And that's what we want to be about. And I think when we do those things, when we connect, when every student has a trusted adult, somebody that they know cares about them and believes in them, it helps our students in this digital world as well because they've got these honest and real and physical relationships that's what they're really striving for, right? I mean, everybody wants relationship. It's just that our current tech world has allowed a lot of that to happen in that format. We want to provide ways for that to happen in the physical world.
I want to go back to something real quick and just bounce in. I thought you did a really nice way of saying this. There's a lot of parents listening right now, and parents, you know that I've said this on every episode. We're not here to shame you. We're here to guide you, and we're actually rooting for you. We think it's amazing. It's the hardest time to be a parent right now with all these digital tools and predators chatting with kids. But what the superintendent said that was interesting is sometimes taking the device out of the kid's room to put the device in mom and dad's bathroom or the kitchen to charge overnight. Sometimes that's a little difficult, especially if your teenagers might be getting a little older and they want to check in or they are better responsibly managing that. But I like how I'm not going to tell people what you said, but I like how there was no shame in that. Hey, it's a little hard to do that. And parents, we want to remind you, there is no shame here. And if you're trying, you're awesome. And we're voting for you. We're rooting for you. If you just give it a shot, and we're here to show you what the best practices are. Did I get that wrong, Superintendent?
No, I think that's totally correct. I will tell you as a parent, we started out in that direction. Like you're not going to have your phone in your bedroom. And we gave up on that. And I don't know that that was good practice, but I just think there's some reality to kids want to be connected. Kids, are spending time on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram Reels, and some of it's positive, and some of it's negative. And so it's really about how do we create healthy relationships for kids, both with their peers, because that's their number one thing that they want, but also with adults. And when we do that, I think they can better manage the digital world. But without that, I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah, fair enough. For all of our listeners, we reach millions of people a year, and parents ask us interesting questions. Here's a question that parents are asking us. What advice, Josh, would you give a student to help them recognize some of the red flags of a dangerous stranger? Well, let's hear from a real teen about how she might help a friend recognize those red flags.
If I had a friend talking online to a stranger, I think that I would feel a little bit uncomfortable with the whole situation. I would advise against it because so many indirect issues can come from that, and it could cause something to be worse than if they had just unadded them in the first place. Some red flags that I would have to advise them to cut it off with this person or to stop engaging would be if the person starts to get very involved in their personal life, and they seem to be very intrigued in what's going on with them and wanting to know all the little details about what they do and who they are, and just very personal details and things that you wouldn't normally share with a stranger in real life. If they're very persistent and constantly wanting to talk to my friend or constantly trying to be involved in their life or wanting to speak to them, I feel like that's kind of a red flag. Another thing would be if they ask them to ever meet them anywhere in person right from the start, if they feel a sense of being uncomfortable or their intuition is just saying it's wrong, or if my intuition is saying something feels wrong with this, then I think that's a major red flag.
Now, parents, this is one of the dozens of videos that are from real teens, and we have experts in our parent night events that we host all over the country. Let's reiterate what this young woman said. Red flags that a stranger may be dangerous to one of my friends. And what we're doing here is we're teaching teens at our live events. Parents bring their teens. We have those difficult conversations about how do you protect your friends? How do you protect yourself? And then all of a sudden, we're no longer preaching to them what to do. They say, parents say, my daughter didn't roll her eyes. She said, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm learning from other teens. And one of the things we're teaching teens is get involved in, if a predator tries to get involved in your personal life or is some random stranger, these are the red flags we want to show you ahead of time. If they're asking a lot of personal questions, if they want to meet up in person, if your intuition is telling you something feels wrong, and we're trying to teach these kids earlier than later, have those conversations often. Parents, if your district is a partner, remember, we give away Kindles and Bluetooth speakers and 3D printers every single week. If you join one of our weekly live online virtual parent events, they're live, just like when I used to fly all over the country to teach social media safety to parents. We have real teens in the program now, though, and we have a premium parent newsletter you can see right there. It's phenomenal. We're hearing from people all over the country, and we're getting 10 times the amount of engagement. Here's what happened in New York, parents. We hope that you'll come out to our next event.
You are the one that needs to decide whether it's too much screen time or just right.
But parents and teachers know when it comes to teenagers and social media, that's easier said than done. So, in an effort to protect students from the dangers of being chronically online, schools are doing something you might not expect, asking parents to get online too.
It makes an awareness to parents and students. It also gives them an understanding of some of the warning signs.
That's just one reason why Deron Wilson, an executive director of school engagement, says his district uses the app Smart Social. It's an online app designed to educate parents and students on how to avoid strangers and dangerous situations online.
Kind of like, I want to say, a trap. When you get involved in the cyberbullying, like you might start friending somebody on an app, or somebody might say, hey, they might send me your picture.
Smart Social founder Josh Oakes says while there are a lot of things that can and should scare us online, the increased number of parents he is able to reach underscores the importance of growing social gathering spaces online.
Back in the day, I used to be one of the top social media safety speakers nationwide, but I was flying around to certain school districts, and they're the best of intentions, but only 20 or 30 parents would show up. We get 10 times the amount of parents to show up, and they want to learn from the convenience of their home or office how to keep their kids safe on social media. They want to ask live questions. They want to learn how to have dialogue starters with their kids that actually get their kids excited about talking with their parents and strengthening that relationship.
Darcy Wertique, Spectrum News.
Okay, parents, remember every single month is different. We've got a ton of different things. We want to bring you out to our next events so that you can sign up for a giveaway, do all kinds of stuff. And then one last thing, parents, remember we have the latest app guides, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, Netflix, WhatsApp, and 450 more. We have an army of people here at Smart Social that helps parents keep kids safe and successful online. And there is a dream that every kid shines online, where we actually own that trademark, and we're excited about it. Lots of live events over the summer. Parents, we look forward to having you there. All right, I'm back with my expert. Okay, superintendent, we've interviewed 205 of your peers, 40 to 41 states. Probably got to get that number a little closer, but we're really close to 41. And in addition to in all those conversations, we've heard from communities. We're hearing that many parents feel overwhelmed trying to keep up with fast-moving online trends and digital safety risks. And that's normal. Parents, you're listening to this, there is no shame. It moves fast for even people that focus on it full time. We're also hearing that during the school year, every parent's going to nod their heads, students are finding ways to increase their screen time and bend the rules, especially when the expectations at school differ significantly from those at home. Superintendent, set me straight. Did I get something wrong? Or what trends or pain points are you seeing when it comes to parent engagement? And where do you feel families are struggling the most to stay informed or connected?
Those are great questions. Josh, first of all, thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate Smart Social. As a parent, we want the same thing that your organization wants. We want safe and successful kids. And so again, when we talk about be kind to kids in Worthington schools, we want safe and successful kids. This is a challenge right now for parents, for educators, for everybody. As the world is moving quickly, I think as a parent, one of our core values in Worthington schools, or one of our core expectations, is we say communicate, communicate, communicate. And we believe in that. We want to get communication to parents. We want that two-way communication and that engagement. I think our parents absolutely want that. And at the same time, there's so much coming at them these days, even just from our schools, right? When you have kids that are in the middle school and high school, you may have, I have 3 kids, so we might have 18 different teachers that we're working with, and multiple different coaches and the church leader, and everybody's sending emails or reminds or using the school district app. It's a lot to keep up with. So I don't have a solution for that, to be honest with you, except to say, I think parents are doing the best they can. I think they are, they desperately want to be connected. For us in Worthington schools, if you have a question, like, reach out to your school principal. Let's have a conversation. There's so many times we just need to cut through the noise and the communication and just have a conversation face to face. We do, as a school district, community coffees all over our community. And I love the opportunity just to sit down with somebody and talk, because we can go through and it's so much simpler than our digital communication is. It takes time. But that's not the world that we're in. But, our families want to be connected. They want to do what's best for their kids. Just trying to navigate a world that throws a lot at them right now.
Here's what I'm hearing for all of our listeners. I'm going to kind of translate the superintendent what they're saying. My family owns a tiny small business, and people think we're a big billion-dollar company, and they'll go complain online to Yelp or Google immediately. And when they come to us, they go, wow, you're so nice. Oh my gosh, you just made it right. You gave me a full refund. You didn't have to do that. Oh yeah, we're a little tiny family business, and we work really hard. That's why our Google reviews are so big. Everybody gets taken care of. And I'm hearing from you, superintendent, that the principal really runs a little tiny family business, and they kind of want to hear from you rather than parents going to Yelp is a worst thing for a restaurant or whatever. Going to the owner or the manager and going, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to alert you. Here's how we're feeling. Is that fair? Is that reasonable? If you did that to a principal, I'm just going to talk on behalf of all the principals nationwide. They go, we love hearing from you. We want to support your kiddos. This is why I'm in this business. And it really is a little business of nurturing these kiddos, right? And did I get that wrong? Would you say that that's a great way to go?
That's exactly what I said, well, from a principal standpoint. And I always say the principal just because almost everybody can figure out who the principal of their school is. Sometimes when you have multiple teachers, you get kind of lost in that. Look, we have great teachers in Worthington schools. Our teachers want to hear from our parents as well. And the more that we can just have conversation, sometimes it's, pick the phone up and just say, hey, here's what we're struggling with. And I think almost always when we approach it in that way, we employ people. Teachers are helpers. Principals are helpers. That's why they get into this business. So I would ask parents, hey, can we approach it that way? Can you come to the table and just say, hey, we're struggling with this. Can you help me? I think almost always when we approach in that positive and constructive way, I think as a school district, I hope that we're a place that desperately wants to help you. And that's why people get into the education business.
Yeah. And what we're saying is solution-oriented questions. Hey, we're having this struggle. And there's somebody there on the other side of that desk or in that office, the principal, who is saying, I have all these resources and ideas and 20 years of experience. Tell me your struggle and I have a fix, right?
Or we can partner with you to try to help, right? We are in the human business. And so anytime we're working with, humans, I don't know that there's a fix, but we can wrap our hands around you. We can provide resources. We can work to support. And together, we can hope to create safe and successful students.
I love it. I love it. Hey, superintendent, I just want to thank you. You got a busy day, a busy week, and thanks for taking the time to spend with us today.
Josh, we appreciate what Smart Social does. Keep doing the good work.
Thank you so much. To all of our listeners, we're here to keep your kiddos safe. We're here to make them successful in the 4 walls of your home and in the 4 walls of school, especially over the summer when there's a ton of Fortnite, Instagram, Minecraft, TikTok. There is no shame, but the kids are are gravitating towards these devices. Parents, I just want to leave you with one last thing. Remember what you're doing online, your kids see. Remember to keep it light, bright, and polite, because kids are seeing what we're posting online and they'll model our behavior. And we want to make sure that their brand image in the long run is something that they know how to curate, but also that we're protecting it for them. I'm Josh Oakes, the founder of smartsocial.com, an army of incredible parents doing the research for you at home and hosting these live events so you can join in from your mobile device, your tablet. And if you miss it, you can watch it, the replay in your inbox, and you can see it in 12 languages. No one's left behind. We hope to see you at our next event. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the smartsocial.com podcast. Smart Social helps parents understand technology and social media to keep their kids safe and successful. Be sure to join one of our weekly online live events to become the smartest parent on the block so you can keep your kids safe and protect their future. Also, don't miss our 450 plus online resources and replays you can watch on demand in multiple languages. Are you a school district wanting to unlock these resources for your parents? Reach out to us so we can protect your whole community each week. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you on the next episode.